Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Oh, I was just riffing there, showing you how crazy you look when you play Guitar Hero. You know, when I shared those Guitar Hero tips a few weeks ago, I really upset a lot of people. I mean, really. Like the people who think they're real guitar heroes because they can do this instead of playing like a real guitar like our friend Chef. Uh, anyway, I didn't mean to offend anybody out there who plays guitar for real, or for people who love Guitar Hero or any other type of guitar music band playing song. Um, After I saw that episode of South Park, I was crying. I was laughing so hard. And if you haven't seen it, well, then you must see the one where they're making fun of Guitar Hero. I've got a top 5 tips for taking care of your real guitar. Like, real. Like, have you ever wanted a real guitar if you don't already have one? I mean, how many people out there always wanted to play guitar? Like, for real. Not the... on a game controller. Like, for real. I'm guessing a few of you. Oh, see, there's one. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. I'm telling you, the list goes on and on. Well, you got to know how to take care of it. Now, if you already have one, hopefully you know how to take care of it. And if not, well, listen up. This list comes from Nikiaf in chat. Nikiaf. I appreciate that. And the chat room, by the way, is at live.pirillo.com if you'd like to join us, because these guys are over here down below my head, my cartoon face, and they're chatting. Not so much over here by our floating logos in the website where you can go to. All right, the top 5 tips for taking care of your guitar. Chris thought it might be interesting to submit a non-tech related top 5 list, so why not some tips on taking care of your guitar? These tips can also apply to most other musical instruments as well. Well, I love non-tech top tips, so here we go. Number 5, store your instrument in a temperature-controlled room. Putting your guitar in a room that has constantly changing temperatures and humidity levels can be bad for it. Remember that a guitar is basically just a piece of wood, so it's sensitive to humidity and the like. The consequence may be as little as the strings getting out of tune, but it may be as severe as the neck of the guitar warping, which is very hard, if not impossible, to fix. You know, by the way, they have electric guitars now that will electronically tune themselves. Real guitars. Insane. Number 4, clean the fretboard regularly. When you play the guitar, dust and dead skin can fall into the frets, which can get stuck in the grooves of the wood, over time building up and will look very bad. Sweat and other things may build up as well. I've seen a guitar which had some sort of black buildup on the frets, and it was very disgusting. I would never play guitar in such a condition. Buildup like this could potentially block the strings if it gets too high. Yeah. Number 3, change the strings regularly. Changing the strings is just like changing the tires of your car. Would you want to drive around on a very old and worn out set of tires? No, that's dangerous. And it would probably be, more than just dangerous, it's just insane. While old strings aren't quite as dangerous, they can rust and potentially snap off and hit you in the face, like that one scary movie where some harpsichord thing snapped back and whipped some girl's eye out. I don't know how I remembered that. I don't even know the name of that movie. If anybody remembers it, go ahead and type it in the chat. I can't remember. Which is never a pleasant experience. By changing the strings, you will also improve the quality of your sound the guitar will produce. Rock stars don't change the strings on their guitars before every show just for the fun of it, after all. Old strings can get out of tune a lot faster than new ones. Also, make sure you buy the correct gauge of strings. Changing to a gauge that's significantly higher than the previous one can have negative effects on the neck, such as bending, warping, or even cracks developing in the woods. I'll say it again. Changing to a gauge significantly higher than the previous ones can have negative effects. Number 2, invest in a good case and or stand for your instrument. Buying a cheap case or stand is never a good idea. Why spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars on a guitar when you're going to put it into a $10 case which may fall apart as you're holding it? Your investment may just crash down to the ground. A good stand is always useful. And I hadn't even thought about this until recently when I went out and bought a new stand for my guitar. How the stand is built can have a positive and negative effects on the instrument. things like where the guitar is being supported can affect the guitar negatively. By getting a stand that hangs the guitar from the headstock rather than one that it sits on is better for the neck joint, which is a very sensitive part of the guitar. Number 1, this one's a bit subjective, he notes, but it's a good thing to invest in guitar cleaners and polishes. The lacquer on an instrument can wear off over time, which makes sense, and it may not wear evenly, so you may end up with a strangely painted guitar. Using a guitar cleaner and polish can help prevent this, as well as make your guitar look nicer. Having a clean instrument makes you look more professional. It's very true. Good points for those of you who own guitars or are thinking about owning a guitar or wanting to pass along guitar tips to somebody else, at least guitar care tips. It's very important. Now, if you've always wanted to learn how to play a guitar, I don't know if I can necessarily help you in the video. I can see if I can find some other resources for you to look up. I'm sure it's not as easy as they make it look, and you're likely going to be sticking with clicking buttons on some pseudo instrument or playing Frets on Fire with your computer keyboard. Frets on Fire, by the way, is the open source version of a Guitar Hero type of game that can be played on your computer. If you've got a top 5 list, whether it's related to music, hardware, software, instruments, doesn't matter, anything that you are an expert in or passionate about, your hobbies, coin collecting, butterfly wing snipping off and pinning to little pieces of styrofoam stuff. I don't care. I mean, I do care, but I'm looking to share this wealth of information with the rest of the world. So if it's in your head, well, get it to me. My email address is chris@pirillo.com. Usually in the chat room that people keep throwing up there. I mean, they're not throwing up in the chat room. The only thing that really throws up around here is my dog, and that's usually on my Mac if it's sitting on the ground. You remember when that happened? Oh, you might not have seen it. It happened live. A lot of weird and wacky things happen live. That's why we stream this video and do this chat live 24 hours a day. I'm serious. I'm doing it. I'm not, and you know what? I'm not even playing guitar. I may be playing my Tenorion, but certainly not the guitar. I don't play guitar. I don't even play Guitar Hero. I'm not a hero at all. I'm just a geek. And if you're a geek too, or you want to be a geek, or you want to talk about all things geeky, then stop by the chat room. We're open, even on holidays, at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.